The courtroom has the faint tang of coffee and tension. The air is too heavy to breathe as whispers come from the gallery benches. There are no cameras permitted inside, but everyone knows, whatever transpires in this room will find its way onto every Sister Wives forum, every headlining story, every late-night show. Meri sits across the plaintiff's table, in dark blue, serene on the surface, but her hands ring a silver ring, one she once shared with Kody in better times. Facing her, Robyn and Kody sit side by side, a deliberately built facade of confidence. Kody's jaw is set, his shoulders too rigid, as if the wooden chair he's sitting in could shatter if he eases. Robyn's eyes shift nervously between the judge and Meri. The judge, a steely-haired woman with a severe expression, speaks at last. "Mrs. Brown, you may begin." Meri stands, her tone firm, but each word weighs 20 years of silence. "Your Honor, this isn't revenge. This is the truth, a truth concealed by love, lies, and loyalty." She glares at Kody. "We lived a fairy tale for the cameras. But behind the scene, there were secrets. Intimate, personal secrets. And one of them has to do with Solomon." Kody's chair scrapes against the floor as he stands abruptly. "Objection. This is a private family matter," the judge raises a hand. "Mr. Brown, you'll have your chance to respond." "Sit down." The courtroom whispers again. Even the bailiff shifts restlessly. Meri proceeds to the witness stand, folder in hand. Her heels click crisply down the aisle. This, she lays it on the table, is a DNA report. Privately done, months ago. It shows that Solomon's biological father may not be Kody Brown. The words linger. Robyn's hand flies to her mouth. "That's not true," she whispers, barely audible. "That's not true, Meri." Kody's face twists with rage. "You're lying. You've always been jealous, always trying to tear this family apart." Meri's eyes shine, but she doesn't crack. "Jealous? Possibly once. But no longer. I'm just tired of seeing you manipulate everyone and play the victim." The judge leans in. "Mrs. Brown, are you saying you have evidence that Mr. Brown is not the biological father of one of his children?" Meri nods. "Yes, Your Honor." The courtroom erupts into din, whispers, gasps, someone even releases a soft curse, before being hushed. The judge thunders her gavel. "Order! Order in the court!" When finally silence falls, the judge states, "Present the evidence." Meri opens the folder. Documents, photos, and a sealed lab report are inside. She pushes it forward. The clerk brings it to the judge. Robyn begins to quietly sob, tears streaming down her foundation. Kody moves to take her hand, but she jerks it away, her face white and inscrutable. Meri's tone becomes gentler. "I didn't want to do this in the public eye. But each time I attempted to say something, they shut me up. Each time I tried to be at peace, they made me the problem. So today, I'm here to let the truth speak for itself." The judge studies the paper for a long moment. This document appears to indicate a mismatch in the DNA markers. But we'll need verification from a court-approved lab. "Mrs. Brown, where did this test come from?" Meri hesitates. "From someone who had access to the original samples." The courtroom is agitated once more. Kody's attorney, a man in an expensive gray suit, rises to his feet. "Your Honor, this is obviously inadmissible. My client was not informed of any test, and this supposed evidence is a breach of the privacy statutes." Meri doesn't waver. "You can battle the paper all day long, but you can't battle what's real." Robyn speaks up at last. "You think I would lie about something like this? You think I would put my children through this circus?" Meri gazes at her, the despair in her eyes deeper than anger. I think you already did. For a moment, the courtroom feels frozen in time, no one breathes, no one moves. Kody's face reddens, his hand clenched into a fist on the table. He starts to speak, but the judge cuts in. Enough. We'll recess for 10 minutes. The gavel strikes, echoing like thunder. As the judge exits, whispers erupt all over. Christine and Janelle, sitting quietly in the rear row, give each other a look. Christine's eyes go wide. Did you know about this? She breathes. Janelle shakes her head slowly. No, but I knew something was on the way. Meri's been different lately. Determined. Christine exhales. She just opened Pandora's box. Meri steps out into the hallway, hemmed in by reporters. Cameras pop. Microphones are pushed toward her face. Meri, true about the DNA? Do you think Robyn cheated? Is this payback for Kody? She doesn't respond to any of them. She simply continues walking until she gets to the women's restroom, shoving the door open with trembling hands. Within, she leans upon the counter and gazes into the mirror at her reflection. Her mascara is smudged, her breathing shallow. But in her eyes, there's relief. For the first time in years, she doesn't seem afraid. I'm finished playing along, she mutters to herself. They wanted me to remain quiet, but quiet was killing me. Kody thunders down the hallway outside, reporters encircling him. This is absurd, he belligerently shouts. She's resentful. She's attempting to ruin me because she was unable to deal with the truth. A reporter shouts, Mr. Brown, are you denying the DNA findings? Kody scowls at them. There are no actual results. It's a fake. A stunt. But as he storms off, his hands tremble. For the first time, his self-assurance mask is weakening. Robyn lingers behind him, eyes red and distant. When a reporter asks, Robyn, is there any truth to Meri's claim? She doesn't respond. Just a long silence before she whispers, I never wanted this to happen. Back in the courtroom, the judge's clerk files the DNA report into evidence. The official case title now reads, Meri Brown vs. Kody and Robyn Brown, alleged paternity fraud. The legal wheels are turning, and the Brown family's secrets are no longer theirs alone. As Meri returns to her seat, she looks at Kody. He refuses to meet her eyes. She whispers under her breath, almost too softly to hear, you wanted fame, Kody. Now you've got it, in court. The bailiff summons the court into session. The tension is no longer covert. It's open, living, breathing within the room. The judge says, Mrs. Brown, your accusations are grave ones. You say there's deception, manipulation, and falsification of parentage. This court will decide what the truth is. But let me tell you all here, if there's perjury or faked evidence, there will be repercussions. Meri nods, her eyes steady. I understand. Kody smirks a little, as if remembering some of his bravado. Good. Because once this dies down, everyone will know what kind of person you are. But even with these words, his voice cracks, just enough to expose him. The doors to the courtroom swing open once more. The echo reverberates down the corridor like a warning bell. Everyone settles into place. The reporters at the back stir their notepads, the air is even more tense than before. Meri sits motionless, her hands clasped on the table, eyes fixed ahead. In the corner of the room, Kody and Robyn look like two individuals hanging on by a thread, his rage barely in check, her terror emblazoned on her face. The judge steps in. Court is now back in session. The gavel comes down. The sound appears to shake the air itself. Meri's lawyer stands. A composed woman in her 40s, sharp-eyed and confident. Your Honor, prior to the recess, my client introduced preliminary evidence with indications of potential paternity fraud. We are prepared to call our first witness. Kody's attorney snorts. We object to where this case is going. There's no intent, no authenticated DNA report, objection on the record, says the judge. But overruled. Continue. A woman in a white lab coat rises from the back row. She approaches gingerly, holding a folder to her chest. The bailiff leads her to the witness stand. Please tell the court your name. Dr. Evelyn Marks. I am a genetic analyst with Arizona State Medical Laboratories. Meri's lawyer nods. Dr. Marks, did you do a DNA test with the individuals called Kody Brown and Solomon Brown? Yes, I did, she says, voice firm but guarded. At the request of a third party. Kody bristles forward, enraged. A third party? Without my permission? That's illegal. The judge lifts a hand again. Mr. Brown, one more outburst and I'll hold you in contempt. Kody subsides into his seat, seething. Dr. Marks goes on. The test indicated inconsistencies in the paternal markers. From a statistical standpoint, the chances of Mr. Brown being the biological father are less than 1%. Gasps again fill the room. Robyn puts a hand over her mouth, shaking her head. No. No, that's impossible. Meri doesn't budge. Her face is inscrutable, but a tear rolls down her cheek anyway. Kody's attorney leaps to his feet. Your Honor, this alleged test can't be admitted. My client wasn't made aware, and these samples were taken in an unethical manner. Meri's lawyer responds. Your Honor, the report was from a licensed lab, complete with chain of custody paperwork. Dr. Marks can attest to that. The judge addresses Dr. Marks. Can you assure me where the samples came from? Dr. Marks pauses. The samples were sent in by a female who presented herself as a family member. She said she had permission. Kody spins around to Robyn. Did you do it? Robyn shakes her head, sobbing. No, Kody, I promise I didn't. Meri turns away, her mouth clenched. The judge exhales deeply. This court will adjourn tomorrow to consider this document's validity. Until then, I want everybody to remain quiet in public regarding this issue. No word to media. Do you understand? Everybody is nodding, but they all know it's too late. The secrets have already leaked out of these four walls. As the judge exits, Christine and Janelle get up from the back row and walk over to Meri. Christine is whispering, Meri, what is happening? Did you know that it would reach this point? Meri exhales, voice shaking. I didn't want it to. But Kody ensured that I didn't have any other option. Janelle folds her arms. You're playing with fire. If Robyn didn't know, this would ruin her entirely. Meri's expression turns hard. She's not innocent. She's been keeping something from us for years. Christine scowls. You don't think Solomon isn't Kody's? Or you do know? Meri gazes at her folded hands. I know. The hallway is filled with murmurs, flashes from concealed phone cameras, the sound of heels clicking and whispers sounding like thunder. Meanwhile, Robyn is outside the courthouse, crying into her phone. Mom, I didn't do anything wrong. I swear I didn't. Kody stands next to her, seething with anger. You said there was nothing to worry about. You promised me everything was okay. Robyn glances up at him, red-eyed. Kody, Please. You're frightening me. He breathes sharply, attempting to get his bearings. We have to know who provided those samples. Somebody's setting us up. But in the back of his mind, an idea crosses his thoughts, terrible and unwelcome. What if it happens to be true? Inside, Meri sits alone in the vacant courtroom. The others have departed, but she remains, gazing at the vacant judge's bench. She mutters to herself, "This has nothing to do with Solomon. This is about what Kody did to all of us. The lies, the favoritism, the control. It ends here." A quiet noise behind her, Christine returns, phone in hand. "Meri, you need to see this." She shows her screen. A leaked photo of the DNA report is already circulating online. Dozens of comments flood social media. Kody Brown exposed? Sister wives scandal hits court. Robyn's secret child? Meri's heart sinks. "I told them not to leak anything." Christine shrugs helplessly. The truth can't stay locked in a folder anymore. That night, the courthouse parking lot is almost deserted. Kody stands next to his car, looking out at the darkness. The wind stirs dust across the pavement, bearing shards of old lives and old promises. Robyn is parked in the car, quiet. At last she speaks softly, "Kody, what if she's right?" He turns, his eyes afire. "Don't you dare say that." Robyn gazes out the windshield. "You were away for weeks that year. You recall? And when you returned, things were different. I was ill for days. You mentioned it didn't matter who said anything." Kody's tone turns cold. "You're claiming you cheated?" Robyn avoids his gaze. "No. I'm saying I don't recall everything so clearly anymore." The words hurt worse than any blaming Meri could have made. Kody's knuckles white on the steering wheel. "If this is true, if you did this," Robyn cuts in, her voice barely above a whisper. "You think I wanted this? You think I thought it out? You were to protect this family, Kody. But you protected yourself." He remains silent. The silence between them is a never-ending chasm. The following morning, there is a new tension in the courtroom. The press has doubled. Cameras lurk outside like vultures. The judge appears visibly annoyed. "I told all of you not to comment publicly," she says firmly. And yet this case is trending on the internet overnight. Meri maintains her head down, but Kody's attorney rises briskly. "Your Honor, my client has endured public humiliation and abuse on the internet. We request immediate dismissal." Meri's lawyer answers frostily, "And my client has suffered emotional abuse for decades, Your Honor." She wants to be heard. The judge exhales heavily. "We will not dismiss this. But from this point on, all parties will be under a strict gag order." Kody slaps his hand onto the table. "This is a joke. You can't drag our lives through the mud like this." The judge glares. "Mr. Brown, one more outburst and you will be escorted out." He sits down hard, panting, his anger rattling his frame. Meri finally looks at him. For the first time, her voice breaks just slightly. "You wanted everyone to see the perfect family, Kody. Now they'll see the truth." He glares at her. "You're not destroying me, Meri, you're destroying yourself." But she shakes her head slowly. "No. I'm freeing myself." The judge demands order again, but everyone in the room understands the harm is already done. As the gavel comes down to adjourn the day, Meri catches Robyn's eye one final time. Robyn is broken, lost in a whirlwind beyond her control. Their eyes lock, and for a moment, both women think the same thing: this isn't over. Because tomorrow, someone new will take the stand, and the real secret behind that DNA test is about to surface. The sun at morning makes the courthouse steps shine like a spotlight. News vans jam the street. Microphones, lenses from cameras, and impatient reporters stand waiting for one thing: the next act of the sister wives' trial. On the inside, the air feels colder than it should. Everyone senses it. The kind of chill that happens when secrets start to become evidence. Meri is the first to arrive. She strides past the cameras with no acknowledgement, her face unreadable. Her attorney is beside her, speaking in a hushed tone in her ear, but Meri doesn't react. She's intent. Resolute. Today, someone else is on the witness stand, and what she has to say can either discredit her or validate everything she has put her life on the line to expose. Over in a corner of the room, Kody sits with his attorney, drumming fingers on the table. His jaw is locked. His hair, often groomed for television appearances, is disheveled, as if he hasn't slept. Beside him, Robyn is vacant. She holds a tissue, her eyes fixed on the floor. The judge arrives. Court is now in session. We will proceed with testimony. The gavel falls. Meri's attorney rises. Your Honor, we'd like to call our next witness, Ms. Meri Brown. A ripple of surprise moves through the courtroom. Kody turns sharply. Janelle? From the gallery, Janelle stands slowly, adjusting her glasses. She looks nervous but composed. She walks to the stand, places her hand on the Bible, and takes the oath. Once seated, she avoids Kody's eyes completely. Meri and we've never exactly seen eye to eye, Janelle starts, her voice subdued. But I can't just sit back any longer. There's something everybody needs to know. Meri stares at her, not sure whether to feel hopeful or terrified. Janelle adds, years ago, before Robyn came into the family, Kody said something about a child. He said if the public ever heard, it would ruin everything. I didn't know what he was talking about at the time. The room falls silent. Even the journalists stop writing. Kody's attorney interrupts, objection. Hearsay. The judge waves it away. Overruled. Proceed. Janelle's eyes water. Then, after Solomon was born, Kody changed. He became paranoid. Always concerned with papers, who had what kind of access to them. One evening, he said to me, if anyone questions Solomon's parentage, it'll be the end of us. The words crash into the courtroom like thunder. Kody bangs his fist onto the table. That's a lie. The judge booms, order. Janelle stares straight at him now. You can call me a liar, but you said it, Kody. You said it in front of Robyn. Robyn shakes her head, sobbing. No, Janelle. Please, stop. You're twisting everything. Janelle's voice swells, shaking with emotion. I'm not distorting anything. I saw this family break apart because of secrets. And I'm tired of acting like it's okay. Meri's lawyer nods. Thank you, Ms. Brown. No further questions. Kody's lawyer rises. Mrs. Brown, you've had conflicts with my client for years, have you not? You've even called him financially manipulative, right? Janelle pauses. Yes. So isn't it possible, the lawyer continues, that you're saying all this out of spite? Janelle pushes her shoulders back. Spite doesn't make you remember the exact words a man says when he's scared. The courtroom is quiet again. The lawyer winks but takes his seat. The judge requests a brief recess. Meri relaxes back, panting. She actually did it, she whispers. She supported me. Her attorney nods. We're creating a foundation, Meri. Piece by piece. But in the courtroom in back of them, Robyn whispers to Kody in a frantic tone. What if she's telling the truth, Kody? What if it all comes back to me? He holds her arm hard. Stop saying that. You're making it worse. She shakes him off, her voice breaking. You think I don't know that? You think I wanted this? Their whispering escalates to a quiet argument until the bailiff chides them to be quiet. When recess is over, the judge requests the next witness. The court will now hear testimony from Meri Brown. Kody's head jerks up. Christine? No. No, this is absurd. But it's too late. Christine rises, walks assertively to the front, and sits in the witness chair. She looks at Meri, offers a slight nod, and then directly at Kody. Meri didn't want this, she starts quietly. She pleaded with Kody for years for him to come forward and speak the truth himself. But he never did. He just kept saying, it'll ruin the show, it'll ruin the brand. Murmurs stir again. The judge lifts her gavel but doesn't intervene. Christine goes on, I recall the evening Meri discovered the old documents, a draft birth certificate, and signed, with another man's name filled in under father. Kody turns pale. That can't be. Those papers were burned. Christine regards him frigidly. Not all of them. The judge scowls. Mrs. Brown, do you possess these papers? Christine nods. Meri does. And I have pictures. Meri's lawyer holds up a sealed envelope. Your Honor, these are copies provided by my client's witness. The judge accepts them, scanning briefly before sealing them again. We'll authenticate these during the next session. Kody slumps in his chair, shoulders trembling with anger. Robyn is quietly crying next to him, muttering prayers under her breath. Beyond the courthouse, a storm rages, both literally and metaphorically. Thunder rumbles in the distance as rain starts to fall. The reporters congregate under umbrellas, yelling questions. Christine, are you taking Meri's side? Kody, is it about the other father? Robyn, who is the man named on the birth certificate? Robyn disintegrates completely, burying her face as security escorts them away. Meri, on the other hand, stands before the courthouse steps, looking out at the storm clouds. She mutters to herself, it's finally coming out. Christine steps up alongside her. You think this will end well? Meri shakes her head. I think it'll finally end. That night, Kody sits alone in a dark hotel room. The TV blares a news recap of the trial, showing clips of his angry outbursts and Robyn's tears. He stares blankly at the screen. A knock at the door. He opens it to find a man in a black coat holding an envelope. Mr. Brown? You've been served. Kody picks up the envelope. Inside, yet another subpoena. This one requires his DNA. He falls into the chair, holding his head. They're not letting up. They're actually doing it. Robyn is behind him in the doorway, white and shuddering. What if the test shows it, Kody? What if Solomon isn't yours? He glares up at her, rage in his eyes. Then who is his father, Robyn? Her lips quiver. I don't know. He bangs his fist on the table, the lamp crashing to the floor. Meanwhile, back at Meri's residence, she sits by her kitchen table gazing at photographs from years ago. Every image is a ghost of what used to be there, forced smiles, promises never kept. Her phone rings. It's Christine. They're calling you in again tomorrow to testify, Christine tells her. The judge wants you to detail how you obtained those documents. Meri nods slowly. Good. It's time they know everything. Even about the man on the birth certificate? Christine asks cautiously. Meri pauses, her hand quivering slightly. Especially about him. The call ends. The rain pounds harder against the window. Meri closes her eyes, whispering, "Tomorrow, the truth walks in." And outside, thunder rolls once more, like the universe itself is preparing for what's about to come. The following morning, the courthouse is ringed with flashing lights, police tape, and a multitude of microphones. The trial has turned into an outright media circus. Reporters chant questions as if in chorus of pandemonium. Meri, is the DNA authentic? Kody, are you concealing another scandal? Robyn, who's the man mentioned in the file? They don't respond. Within, the atmosphere is stifling. The walls narrow with each breath, each minuscule whisper. The atmosphere weighs on the air, heavy with things unsaid. Meri is the last to enter the courtroom, carrying a plain brown envelope. She moves slowly, purposefully. Christine and Janelle are seated wordlessly in the back row. Kody refuses to glance her way, his jaw muscles clenched, fists balled. Robyn's eyes are red from crying all night. The judge enters, his gavel in hand. Court is now in session. Today we will be considering new evidence submitted by the plaintiff. Meri's lawyer stands. Your Honor, this envelope holds certified copies of the birth record that identifies a different biological father for the subject child. Kody's lawyer stands up immediately. We object. We haven't seen whether the so-called evidence is authentic. It may have been tampered with. The judge's eyes narrow. Sit down, counsel. We'll establish its validity in due course. Meri hands the envelope to the clerk, who takes it to the judge. The thud of the paper moving across the wooden desk seems louder than thunder. The judge opens the document. Quiet settles. This record indicates the name David L. Kingston on the biological father. A murmur of shock ripples through the room like a fire. Cameras snap. Kody's head snaps up, eyes wide open. David Kingston? That's impossible. Meri's lip quivers. It's possible, Kody. You know him. You introduced him to Robyn years ago before you married her. The courtroom explodes. The judge bangs her gavel. Order! Order! Robyn's voice rings out above the commotion. He's lying. That man, he's from my past. I cut him out of my life before I even met Kody. Meri approaches further, her voice icy but trembling. Then why would his name be listed on Solomon's initial hospital record, Robyn? Why did you request the nurse to edit it on discharge? Robyn is in shock. Her eyes flash towards Kody, who stares back at her in increasing horror. The judge addresses Robyn. Mrs. Brown, would you like to respond to this accusation? Robyn's voice is tiny. Your Honor. I have no idea how that name ended up there. I was afraid. Everything was happening too fast. She stops. She cries so hard her face is wet. Kody growls under his breath, you told me it was mine. You promised it. Robyn looks at him, begging. It is yours. I don't know why that name was there, I swear I don't. The judge sighs. We'll need to authenticate these records through the hospital and subpoena Mr. Kingston for questioning. Kody stands, slamming his hands on the table. No. You're not dragging another man into this circus. This ends now. The gavel pounds. Mr. Brown, sit down immediately. But Kody does not. His rage detonates, years of domination spilling apart. You think you can embarrass me like this? You think you can ruin everything I've worked for because you're resentful? Meri also stands, her voice shaking but steady. I didn't ruin anything, Kody. You did that when you allowed your deceptions to be more significant than your family. Anger is just fear wearing armor. Security draws near, but Kody finally sits, panting hard, his hands trembling. Robyn conceals her face, not able to halt crying. The judge clears her throat. We'll proceed. I want testimony about where these records came from. Meri nods and approaches the stand. Her lawyer leads her gently. Meri, explain to the court how you ended up with these documents. She breathes in slowly. I discovered them last year, inside a storage box that had belonged to Kody. I was going through the garage, cleaning it out, and I saw a file that said old contracts. There were receipts, birth documents, and a letter to Robyn. The letter was signed, David Kingston. The courtroom murmurs. The judge furrows her brow. A letter? Meri nods once more. It read, I told you the truth would catch up one day. Take care of him, even if he never knows. Gasps fill the gallery. Robyn buries her face in both hands. No, 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 that letter wasn't real. It can't be. Kody whispers to himself, you lied to me, Robyn. All this time. The judge takes a deep breath. This court will summon Mr. Kingston to testify in the next session. Until then, we'll recess for 20 minutes. The gavel drops again. As the judge exits, the courtroom erupts into chaos. Reporters rush to the hall. Kody storms out a side door, slamming it behind him. Robyn collapses into her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Meri remains quietly, her eyes fixed on the table. Christine reaches for her. You okay? Meri nods her head. No. But I think I'm finally going to start breathing again. Outside in the corridor, Kody is pacing like a wild animal. His attorney is attempting to placate him. We'll take care of this. We can discredit the document. Perhaps claim forgery, Kody explodes, and what if it's not forged? What if he can't even complete the sentence? Robyn suddenly materializes at the end of the hallway, her face ashen. Kody, please. You have to believe me. He meets her gaze, his eyes ablaze with both heartbreak and anger. I believed you for 12 years, Robyn. And now I don't even know who I've been married to. She extends a hand, but he moves away. Don't. She says in a whisper, I did love you. I still do. He shakes his head. You loved the version of me that kept your secrets. That night, the story dominates every headline. DNA shock in sister wives' trial. Meri's evidence points to Robyn's secret past. Kody Brown collapses in courtroom rage. Inside her quiet house, Meri sits by the window, watching lightning crackle across the sky. Christine and Janelle are there, sitting with her, cups of untouched tea in front of them. Christine speaks in a low tone. You think Kody can bounce back from this? Meri appears far away. Possibly as a man. But not as the husband he pretended to be. Janelle chimes in, and Robyn? Meri groans. She's already shattered. The truth will complete what shame began. Meanwhile, downtown, Kody is huddled by himself in his truck, rain pounding on the windshield. He's looking at the letter Meri told him about, crumpled in his hand now. The handwriting at the bottom is unmistakable. David L. Kingston. He mutters, why not tell me? His phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number, "We need to talk." It's about Solomon. DK. Kody's stomach drops. He looks up at the rain, his reflection fractured by the water. He whispers, "It's true." Back at Meri's house, she checks her phone, an unknown number again. This time, it's a voicemail. She presses play. A male voice fills the space. "Meri, I know what is in that letter. I never intended it to come this far. But if Kody learns everything, none of you are safe." The line goes dead. Meri's hand shakes as she sets the phone down. Christine pales. "Who was that?" Meri speaks softly, "David Kingston." The thunder outside intensifies, rattling the windows. The storm is just starting. The courthouse is chilly today. Rain pounds against the high windows as reporters cluster like vultures circling the moment of the ultimate judgment. Flashing cameras, raised microphones, and the murmurs outside ring through the marble corridors. Within, all the villagers realize this is the day it all concludes. Meri sits in the front row, her face white but serene. Christine and Janelle sit to her left, hands clasped, eyes brimming with concern. Kody sits across the room, staring blankly into space, circles under his eyes, "Ty askew." Robyn has cried continuously since morning. She reaches out every now and then for Kody's hand, but he does not acknowledge her. And then the doors open. A man in a gray suit enters with 2 federal marshals flanking him. His face is older, tougher, but unmistakable. David Kingston. The man of the letter. The man from the past. All heads turn. All cameras snap. Even the judge hesitates for a moment before talking. "Mr. Kingston, please come up to the stand." David ambles slowly, his footsteps thundering like a drumbeat. He gazes directly at Robyn, and she quickly glances away. The judge gives a nod to the bailiff. "Please swear in the witness." David lifts his hand, his voice firm. "I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth." The courtroom seems as if it's holding its breath. Meri's lawyer steps forward first. "Mr. Kingston, how do you know Robyn Brown?" David takes a deep breath. "We became acquainted long before she ever became part of Kody's family. When she was still married to her first husband. We were involved briefly." A room full of gasps. Robyn's head falls forward. Kody's posture stiffens. "Did you stay in touch after that relationship terminated?" the attorney asks. David pauses. "Yes. Sporadically. She'd contact me every now and then. After Solomon was born, she contacted me again." The courtroom breaks into whispers. Kody gestures forward, his voice breaking. "Why would she call you? What did she say?" David stares straight at him. "She said she needed assistance. That she was afraid someone would discover the truth about the birth certificates of her baby." Robyn quickly rises. "That's not true." "I never," the judge bangs the gavel. "Mrs. Brown, you'll have your say. Sit down." David goes on. "She said that the name on the first paper was mine. That she had it altered prior to discharge. Begged me to be quiet. That it would ruin her marriage if anybody caught wind of it." Meri shuts her eyes, tears shining. Kody's hands tremble. "You're saying Solomon could be your son?" David's eyes dart. "I didn't want to believe it either. But when I saw him once, accidentally, I knew." The room erupts. Reporters yell, cameras snap, pandemonium. The judge bangs the gavel. Order! One more outburst and I clear this room. When order has been restored, Robyn rises once more, sobbing. You're lying. You're trying to destroy me because I left you. David's tone mellows. Robyn, I never intended to destroy you. But the truth was always going to surface. He addresses the judge. I did a DNA test years ago. In secret. It was never officially filed, but I made a copy. The lawyer's eyes grow wide. Do you have it with you? David nods. Yes, ma'am. Here. He produces a sealed envelope. The clerk brings it to the judge. The judge opens it cautiously. This test shows a 99.8% chance that David Kingston is the biological father of Solomon Brown. Gasps. Sobs. Robyn falls into her chair. Kody sits blank, like the floor has been pulled out from under him. Meri puts her hand over her mouth, whispering, "It's true. Truth doesn't just set you free, it burns everything that chained you." Kody finally finds his voice, raw. You lied to me. You lied to my children. You lied to God. Robyn weeps. I didn't know. I didn't know he was the father until it was too late. The judge glances down, face impassive. Considering this new evidence, the court will resume tomorrow for closing arguments. In the meantime, both sides are dismissed. But Kody doesn't budge. He speaks to Meri. You think you won, don't you? Meri shakes her head slowly. No, Kody. Nobody wins here. Outside, the storm has stopped, but thunder still rumbles in the distance. The press swarms the steps, shouting questions. Robyn is rushed into a car, her face hidden behind dark glass. David disappears with federal agents, refusing to speak. Kody walks down the courthouse steps alone, ignoring everyone. Cameras flash, but he doesn't blink. His world, the image he built, has shattered. In the meantime, Christine, Janelle, and Meri stand outside the street, observing quietly. Christine murmurs, "You think he'll ever forgive her?" Meri responds softly, "He can't even forgive himself." Later at night, in the deserted courtroom, janitors tidy up the debris. But something is left behind, a single sheet of paper that lies on the ground. It's the DNA report, stamped and signed. On the back, in red writing, "This isn't over." The following morning, prior to the final hearing, Kody shows up early. The courtroom is deserted but for him and the sound of his footsteps. He sits at the witness stand, gazing at the Bible on the bench. He mutters, "I gave everything for them, and they gave me nothing but lies." Robyn slips in behind him. Her eyes are bloodshot, her hands trembling. "Kody, please. Let me tell you something." He turns, his face gaunt. "There's nothing more to tell." She drops to her knees beside him, voice cracking. "I was afraid. I thought you'd go away if you knew." He stands, moving away. "You should have trusted me to decide that." The judge enters, calling court to order for the final time. Cameras are banned today. No noise, no reporters. Just truth and consequences. Meri's lawyer speaks first. "Your Honor, this case was never about revenge. It was about closure. My client wanted the truth to be known, not for headlines, but for healing." Kody's attorney answers quietly, defeated. "Your Honor, my client is heartbroken. But we accept the evidence as read." The judge nods. This court finds for the plaintiff, Meri Brown. The documents authentic, the DNA tests valid. The court advises a legal adjustment to Solomon's birth certificate. The gavel comes down once more. Robyn weeps into her hands. Kody blinks blankly. Meri remains silent, tears falling quietly. Christine leans in and tells her, "You did it. It's over." Meri shakes her head. "No. It's just finally honest." Outside, the clouds part. The first light seeps through the clouds. Cameras shudder as Meri walks out of the courthouse, not smiling, but lighter somehow. Kody stands and watches her go, whispering, "Maybe now we can stop pretending." And when the crowd disperses, the final reverberation of the trial remains in the air, a tale of faith, deception, and honesty that cost them everything.